One deep breath in. Three deep breaths. When you breathe out, just picture it going through your feet out into anywhere. If you don't want it to go into the earth, fine, but I like to let it go into the earth. Deep breath in. And have it vibrate out. And again. And again. We get together to activate others, people that don't know how to speak light language. And for people who do know how to speak light language, it's just to raise our vibration and to the vibration of the planet, and to get together and do this. Susan, do you know how to speak light language?
I do not. I haven't had that privilege yet, so I'm hoping I get activated one of these times. So I want to soak up the positive vibrations.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fine. It comes naturally. It should just flow. It's not something that you have to force. It comes from your soul. It's a soul language. Everybody is capable of doing it, and it's just freeing. So it's not something that you have to think about. It just comes out. It's very easy for women. It's much harder for men for some reason. It's something that I don't know, they just have a block.
We're thicker.
I'm sure it'll come at the right, when the time is right. So
it just comes out. It just flows, and there's so many light languages out there. It can sound very odd to you. It can come out and sound like clicking noises. It can come out and sound like anything. Don't think that it's not light language, because there's so many unknown ones.
Can be gibberish.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
seriously, gibberish is a language.
All right, that's good to know.
We've heard many, and we've heard, and there's many that we have never heard. So
basically, any language you can think of is a language. Any sound, even a single tone is a language, because it has fluctuations in that tone. And beings of that frequency can detect it and communicate through that tone.
Yes.
Also signs. You might feel the urge to do signs with your hands. That's also.
Yeah, I've seen that. And also writing symbols on paper, right? Kind of like automatic writing.
Yes. Yes. Codes. Light language codes are very, very. Just reading them from left to right, right to left, up to down to up. I mean, there's just certain ways that you could, all of a sudden you'll feel like you should read it a certain way. They're downloads. They're excellent. Excellent.
So, some of them they use it to hypnotize you. Like Sal, when she does it on me, she totally hypnotized me. Sal more. She plays some music, and then she starts doing like this. And if you focus in her hands, you honestly, you get it like in a nirvana. It's incredible. They're extraterrestrial noises.
John had a block for a while and thought he would never get light language. And then once he started speaking, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I've seen you down on Hooklo speaking light language.
I think
Yes.
I know you from Hugo as well, Susan.
Yes.
I thought that you're very familiar.
Yeah.
Say, but I didn't know from where until you
Okay.
mentioned it now.
Okay.
I was most of the time behind the scene. I was
Oh,
the type of shy guy at the time, but I
Oh,
followed Hugo
awesome.
for 8 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a intuitive practice circle locally I've been going to for 10 years. And, but it seems like lately the past few years, it's been growing. It's like twice the size, like 18 to 24 people twice a month. And then we started another group called Beyond the Normal. That's just a discussion forum once a month. And it's at a spiritual center that gives us free space, like on a donation basis. So yeah, there's a lot of, at least where I live, there's a lot of different centers that have live channeling and classes, and I've taken like intro to psychic development and a couple mediumship classes and things like that. I've been a Reiki healer for like, I don't know, 20 years probably. Just for friends and family and myself, but so I kind of have a.
Do you know
broad
Pinar
range.
Akan?
What was the name again?
Pinar.
Pinar?
She lives also in Minnesota, and she's a medium, and is also very gifted, very nice lady. I will put you in contact.
Okay.
Contact you.
Or if you want to type it in chat,
Yeah.
I can look her up.
Sure.
I mean, we have a lot of expos up here going on all the time, and yeah, there's always something going on in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area.
Yeah. I have 6 friends only from there, from Minnesota, who are very much into these things, and it's so lovely.
Yeah, there's lots of support up here for that.
There's a lot in Sedona, but 2.5 hours away from me.
Yeah.
But, there's not a heck of a lot going on in my area, but my area is all old people. The grocery store where I live, there's a full bar. That's where they are. That's where they are. They're all pickled. My husband brought a couple of lost souls home one day. Yeah, and I know they were with him because they were talking to me.
All right.
Yes. I said to him, I said, you brought some stragglers home. He goes, I did. I said, yeah. He goes, how do you know? I said, because they're talking to me. I said, I need to send them home. They told me they saw him walk in the front door. He's got this big bright light around him. And they wanted to know why he had that bright light, so they tagged along with him. They didn't know where to go after they died, so they went back to the bar with all their friends.
The portal.
Yeah.
They start moving chairs and glasses across the table.
So, yeah, can you shut the front door, honey? All I hear is the jets. Rick just came home. Can you hear the jets? I have the Air Force flying over.
Oh, yeah.
Rick just came in from the grocery store. Yeah, his hands full. The front door's open. Honey. Thank you. Wow. If it's not the birds, I've got the big birds above me. Lord. Oh, another day at Deb's house. Internet's not working in one room. Big birds flying over. metal ones. Okay, do you want to start the recording? We already did our deep breathing and everything. Did you? Oh, you did start the recording. Okay, thank you. Another blonde moment for me. How about we start light language? And my next trick. Oh my God.
Hello everyone.
I need my own little meditation room. This house is way too small. There we go again. And he's got the door open. He opened the door again.
Okua chokua chikiana kuanaka chokuaniki ichiana wahanaka shokuanaka chukiana oka chakanaka chokuanaka kwa ikikiwa kwa shokuanaka kwa chakanaka kwa chikinia kwa chokana.
Do I dare unmute? Thank you.
I'll give you this one, Susan, and you can practice this because this is the language of water. It's in wash, and WA is primary in the beginning. Sha'a is the flow of water. Shatnak is the crash of water. And this is just general, and you, after speaking the language for a term, you will get the visualization actually in your mind, and you will see shapes form. You can, well, I use the language of water for compacting timelines, which is returning them back into a source thread and compounding them from the multiple facets that they were into that which is no longer needed anymore in the higher dimensional consciousness.
Okay.
So if you try practicing just something simple like speaking the language of water, it's just a flow, and you'll actually develop that flow over time.
Okay, sounds good. I'll definitely listen to the recording.
You can actually do that, or you can listen to literally the sounds of water.
Where is this mic?
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Great tip. Great tip. Thank you.
Will we start like doing some prayers for each one of us? I'm
Sorry.
praying. Should we start like doing some sort of prayers for? Yes.
That's fine.
Okay. Linda, would you like to pray for something so we can join you?
Yes, I would like prayers for my mother. She's 95 and has memory issues, and it's getting worse day by day. So I need a lot of peace. Thank you.
Yeah. I would like to. My mother's in the same boat with early dementia, so
Oh, yeah.
I definitely, and it's gradually getting worse too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So add me on to that as well.
My auntie as well. It's the same. It's going through dementia on a very bad stage now.
I have to take. Akasamuka teke po lakatika teke 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 o pateka teke teke pateka teke te akasaka po teke teke akapa pateka teke teke akapa teke pala papola ke pala kapasaka teke pala teke teke akamusa kene mo kone kini kene teke teke po teke 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 po po akateka kasamola mana teke teke teke
Susan, would you like to add one more prayer apart from that one?
I can't think of one off the top of my head right now. I'll think of one for next time.
Okay. Don?
My dad had Alzheimer's when he was alive, so my heart goes out to both of you.
Thank you.
And my mom's dad had it as well, my grandpa.
I'll tell you this also. When you're doing Reiki, that's great. Do you apply any energy to your patients from your own hands?
I have, yes. I started with a little background noise.
Let me mute mine.
Yeah, okay.
I do hands-on and remote, and right now I do Kundalini Reiki and like some offshoot of Diamond Reiki and Gold Reiki are kind of offshoots of that, but I started with a Sui Reiki probably like 25 years ago. But with Kundalini, you just place your hands on the person's shoulders and basically intend for the energy to flow, and you don't have to focus on symbols or anything like that, but the energy feels stronger. I basically, because I was a master level of the Sui Reiki, I was able to attune myself to the Kundalini Reiki, which has 3 levels as well. But the energy feels stronger to me. Or like level 1 of the Kundalini felt as strong as like being a master of the Asui Reiki. So, but yeah, I just mainly do it on myself and family and friends. But if I can't be in person doing it, then I do it remotely. And you can do it remotely on myself as well. But
okay, well, what I do, I've gone to hospital to visit friends and family and that. And a friend of mine is actually transitioning from this life to another stage. And so I opened my palm chakra and applied some of my energy directly into his crown chakra. And I did it more along the lines of an impulse to do that. And after I did that, and I'm pouring, I visualized basically in my palms. I tap the middle of my palms to open them. And those are my palm chakras, or chakra. And I visualized a tulip opening. My right hand is to collect the light from the core of this galaxy. my left hand is what I use to apply it. Okay. So what you're doing is you're using the energy from the power of love. You collect the light in your right hand and store it in your heart. And using that frequency of love, deliver it to your patient. And you think, visualize in your left hand, water flowing very gently in not a strong stream, but a gentle stream, like you're pouring tea almost into the crown or into the chakra of the patient that is close to where his or her affliction is. And you're using your intention as the tool of delivery to repair that organ. I occasionally use golden light as a total cocoon over the patient. I myself do this for free. I don't charge anybody for this stuff. It's just the way I am. It's my makeup. I do it to help others. It's just in my nature. But if I apply light to a patient, I will apply it to them as a total body, as a cocoon of golden light. They are grounded. I am grounded before any of this begins. This way, you're completing the circuit to source for all of us in that procedure. And when the light is around them, I can flip it from the cocoon state into liquid light and place it directly in all cells, just like flipping a switch.
Wow.
And they absorb it like a sponge. And once it's in their system, you can mentally see how the organs are supposed to be, and you want to repair them as best you can and apply energy to them via the crown, but gently pulse it through them in waves and out their feet, the ground. And you're removing toxins at the same time.
Oh, that's great.
You can do this to remove pain, but the patient has to be willing to accept the treatment first. You don't just blanketly do it. You have to have permission.
Yeah, I usually do that, yeah, before I do healing, yeah. Wow, that's great. I mean, did you learn about this through, I mean, did this come to you intuitively, or
Intuitively.
you did? Okay, awesome.
This is remembering what Jesus did. He's just using his chakra in that instance, but he's also, it's more of an energy sharing at that point between the patient, yourself, and source.
I'll have to try that sometime.
Yeah, me too.
That's great.
Even if you go into like a hospice and someone is laying there in an unconscious state, and I do this for those that I know have had a noble life and helped others, I will apply it from my heart to them when I apply light from my palm. And when they are asleep, they will actually make a gasp just because the energy coming in. And it is like drinking from a mountain stream that's fresh and new.
Amazing.
Yeah, beautiful.
I can do this remotely. It's just everything is done for me is done by visualization.
Yeah, I mean, I do healing in person at the Intuitive Practice Circle. It's to practice healing and as well as psychic mediumship gifts, whatever gifts individuals have to share. And so if someone needs a healing, I'll give a healing at that time, as well as people, other family and friends. But yeah, it's good to have people willing to to allow you to practice and on a regular basis. So I'm not a professional. I don't take any money for what I do either. So it's just if somebody needs healing and I'm willing to give it, so, or be a conduit, I should say.
That's all we are as a conduit. We're actually completing a circuit when we ground ourselves and do all this.
Rick used to drive by a hospice building that said hospice on it. And I think it was like a house that was turned into a hospice. And he would have a green every day, green light, his green energy healing. He could see it and didn't realize it was a hospice until, because every day he would drive down a certain area, and then he saw the hospice sign one day because he would wonder why he kept seeing green energy when he would drive by the certain area, and it was always this hospice there. So he was healing.
Wow. Yeah.
People there.
One thing that I have done. I have a friend who's a physician, and I told him to visualize like he worked at a hospital. And I told him to, well, I taught him the same procedure that I do, of going in and applying light directly from your palm. And his buddies think he's all nuts because they can't see it, right? But as you get into a senior state of mind, you're losing the language that you're speaking, and you're beginning to speak the angelic languages. That's what your parents and your friends, that as they get older, they're reverting back into the angelic language, because we all come from that language. But somebody answered the phone.
Sorry, that's me. I have the phone in the hallway.
Anyway, where was I going with this?
Somebody has a landline.
I do. That's all I have. I don't have a cell.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a landline anymore either.
I don't. I haven't had one in
Just a cell, yeah.
over 10 years.
My phone now. Hello? Yes. Okay. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, excellent. Understood. Thank you, Victor. Bye-bye. Okay.
This is why our webinars are the best. We can stop time. We can sort of answer the phone. They have all sort of flexibility. I love it.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry. Parts from my car.
In the way I started getting in touch with the healing was working as a healthcare assistant at first. I was looking after the elderly, and I was washing them from the feet to the top of the head. And the day I realized that the prayers really have power was one day that I was looking after this gentleman who have Parkinson's disease, and he couldn't talk anymore. He had to use like a stick to talk, pressing some sort of device. And he was, after 6 months of being looking after him, he mentioned to me, Ismael, I'm very tired of being here. And that was the last thing I needed to hear for me to break my heart, because from being every day there, seeing him, how the illness was making him feel worse and worse and worse and more deteriorated, it was breaking my heart little by little. And then at that day, I just got the bowl of water after washing all his body. I went to the sink to pour the dirty water, and then I look up in the mirror and I see him from behind. He was just behind here, and then I see his face, and he was laughing. Like all of a sudden, from being very sad, he was laughing, and I say, "What's going on?" No? And then I continue cleaning the bowl of water and the sponge and the flannel, everything, and then I started praying, and I say, "Please, God, what's the point of him being here? Why do you keep him here in this condition? He's already asking to go. I mean, why you don't let him go?" And then I left there the prayer. I placed the ball in the right place, the flannel, the sponge, and then I turned around and he was already gone. And that was for me a shock at first, but afterwards was an incredible experience for me to realize how powerful are our prayers and our decisions also, which act like prayers, because he actually prayed for that also by telling me what he wanted, no?
Yeah.
And in terms of healing, well, every time I was cleaning him, that was love there, and I could feel the energy from him coming to me and from me to him, and we were creating bonds. Even if we didn't want to create bonds, we were creating incredible bonds, and that was the best job I ever had. Not in terms of being paid, but in terms of humanity. And then I had other jobs like dental hygienist and things like that. Yeah, they escalate in salary, but not in humanity. Until I realized that that's not my job neither. And I decided to dedicate myself to hypnosis and Reiki also. I do the angelic Reiki. In the angelic Reiki, you just let yourself be, you do the invocation to the angels, and then you just lift your body there, touching their shoulders, and then you let the angels work through you. And then you start having visualization that you are not even directing. It's like they show you what you are doing. And it's also beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Who did you learn from, the angelic Reiki?
Christine Kaur and Kevin Kaur. Kevin Kaur, he channeled this technique just before he died from the Archangel Metatron. And then he passed that knowledge.
My favorite archangel.
Yeah,
It's
One of
not
my favorite.
IET, is it?
Eh?
It's not IET, integrated energy therapy. That's an angelic therapy too.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm level 1 on that, but
Mhm.
but it's not the same or no. Okay. I
I'm
was
not
just
sure if it's the same, Beck. I'm not sure.
okay.
Um,
Well, it was
Kevin
that
Morris
was-
does it over there as well, right? Do you know Kevin Morris? Is that his name, Kevin Morris? There's another one that does art, the same Reiki that you do, Angel Reiki.
this is like Reiki too. It's touching different. Each angel is at a different spot that you touch. You know, like your top, your head, your shoulders. You know, your stomach areas, your throat. So it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
Beautiful. In this one, you just you just do the invocation that Kevin channeled from Archangel Metatron, and after the invocation, again, you don't do anything at all. You just let yourself be there like a conduit. That's it. And then you see everything happening, like visualization, light, archangels, everything coming and go. And yet that's why I'm actually calling Facebook Metatron Egg, because at some point I was doing a healing in a friend of mine, in a colleague from Australia. She's blind, and I was doing the healing. I was being the conduit. The angels were doing the healing. And then when we finished the healing, the Christine Core went to each of us to ask us to share the experience. And the interesting thing is that my friend Marianne, the lady who I was passing the angelic Reiki, she had the same vision that I had, which it was a huge planet with the shape of an egg, blue, and with like windows with lights. And it was like getting close to planet Earth. And when I asked, what's that? Well, I asked inside me, what is that? And I heard, it's the Metatron egg. And that's why I named myself like that. And the interesting thing is that Marianne, this blind lady, she had the same vision. And we were in tears. Both of us, we were in tears. Because we couldn't, actually, that was, again, witnessing that what we were doing was true, because we lived the same without even knowing what we were doing. So that was very powerful, like a confirmation, big confirmation. Okay.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
Very nice.
it's beautiful.
Thank you for sharing.
A pleasure. Should we do another one? Like
Oh, sure.
let's do a general one to let these energies flow.
This after the earlier session, we had the Native Americans coming through. It was really powerful.
Oh my
And they
God.
were all around me. I don't feel their presence so strong anymore. And I had Kuan Yin, who is here still because Davina's with us. She brings Kuan Yin. So I wanted to see what energies that were here.
Beautiful. Like, would you like to share a prayer with us so we can all pray
For an intention.
for an intention? Yeah.
Okay. Intention for let's see, there's so much. Intention for wellness, intention for courage, intention for peace in our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you. What about you, Don? What would you like us to pray for?
Were you speaking to me?
Don.
Done.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
The watcher, please.
My wood.
I'm going deaf. You know?
My bowl.
Yeah.
He's playing with his bong.
My cone of silence.
I like the sound.
Yeah, so do I. Attention. Well, let's do an intention for water. I love water.
Agua?
I
Agua.
love storms.
I have a lot of water around me. Believe it or not, I'm in the desert and it's been raining like crazy.
You. Hopefully you're on the high ground. Not in a ravine.
I'm not. There's a ravine down the street. We're on a dry riverbed. It's not so dry. Oh, Don, you have a visitor.
Good.
Nanu, Nanu.
Oh, hey Robin, how you doing?
He came to me. I'm focusing on my light language, and he popped in my head as Mork. And he said, I'm here for Don.
Okay, good old. He
said, tell him I said Nanu, Nanu.
Okay, Nanu, Nanu.
He said he's thinking about you. Hopes
Okay,
you're well.
He can pop by here any old time.
He said we're much too serious again. He said I'm telling you guys, you've got to laugh. It brings up your vibrations faster.
Mm-hmm.
Laughter, laughter, laughter. He said you need a comedian in your life. He's right.
Yeah, he's right.
We just get way too serious. His vibration's very high.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's telling me. My vibration's very high.
Yeah.
Well, Robin, you're not alive. Well, I mean, you're alive, but you're not on 3D. You're not on 3D Earth anymore, buddy. You're not stuck here.
He thinks he is, though.
What?
Okay.
He thinks he is.
He can ground himself to all frequencies from where he is right now, in all dimensions.
Mm. He's so cute. He's doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
Who is
He's wearing that little red suit that he did on Mork. He keeps showing me himself in that. He's so cute. He's his young self. He's not the older self. He's that young self with that young face when he was on Mork.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, he's rubbing his belly and he's saying, you need belly laughs, real hot belly laughs, where your stomach hurts and you're laughing so hard and you have tears coming out of your eyes. You need to laugh. Be joyful, joyful, joyful.
I remember that from Red Skelton.
He said,
used to
you need to laugh some more. He said, people are so serious now. They're so worried about all this Christmas stuff and the things that they worry about buying presents. People don't need presents. They need to just be together and have fun together and play cards and play games and relax. All this crap. He's right. I'm not worried about it. I'm not buying any presents. I'm not buying one thing. Nothing.
I make my own. if I make anything.
I'm not buying one gift. Nobody's
Give 'em
getting
candy.
anything. They'll get me. They'll get a hug and a kiss. That's what they're getting.
And when you give a hug, give it with 2 G's.
With
One
what?
for yourself. When you give a hug, give it with 2 G's.
Yeah.
You keep a G and you give one to the other person,
Mhm.
and they always remember that.
I don't
They
want,
get it.
I mean, I always say to people, I don't want a thing. I just want your time and your company. That's it. I don't want material things from anybody. I just want just you. Give me 15 minutes. I don't want any things.
Oh, I know sorry, I just want to say, when I was going with the orbs and about the hospital, I wanted to add that when you go to a hospice or a
Can you speak up a
hospital.
little? And Robin says, I love you. I'm gone. Bye. That's all his message was. Bye. Laugh. Bye.
Anyway, about the hospital or hospice, place an orb outside of the structure, but make it larger than the hospital building. And call it a golden orb. And just when you're in the hospital talking to everyone, and you can, I do this all the time. I just say there's a large golden orb outside around this hospital, and you're drawing energy of love from that orb. And all I have to think of is orb, and bam, it's there. It's just a visualization, and you're putting your love into that orb, and golden light is love. And they can draw off that for anything that they want. And it's a source for them, or a source of focus for them. And in some cases, I place eternal orbs, which are, it will follow you through life if I deem that you are in need of that kind of energy, and for your own work. And I give it to my angels and whomever that needs it. And I tell them how to visualize it, how to create it. Just says you're going to have your own crew or crews or departments, if you like, that will actually replenish them for you because of their love for you. And you're just pouring love out to them, and it's just a continuous cycle. You just visualize that and present that. It's free, which, in this day and age is wonderful.
Yeah.
And it helps them, and it puts you in a positive light with them.
Right.
And they can draw off that for their prayers or what energy, whatever. I have encountered cases where people don't want this, and then that's fine. That's their choice. People will, or correction, higher selves will agree with it in some cases, and in some cases not. It depends on what the soul contract of the person who is incarnated chooses to have in their life. If they choose to be negative, then most likely they don't want it, right? But if they choose to be positive, they'll take it, sure. It helps them, or helps their soul anyway. Eventually helps their higher self as well. Because everything is a learning process.
The other day I did a session to my cousin, and she was wondering why she was feeling like a little bit depressed. And and like with a lack of motivation to do things. And they showed to her this vision where she was walking like in a path, a golden path that was doing like this. And she had trees in the sides. And as she was walking, she was feeling the need to approach one tree, touch it, and do some healing on that tree. Then she kept walking and she was doing the same. Like that, she kept doing it in the first stage of that life representation, because it was more like a dream than a past lifetime. They just wanted to show her what is important for all humans to do. So I moved her to the next stage in that experience or lifetime, and then she feels like she has blossomed, and she felt like so motivated, so full of energy, ideas, creativity, and she kept doing the same. She kept passing love to the trees. She could see how the love was passing to the tree, and the trees, through the roots, they were connecting all the planet, and the planet itself was growing in energy. And then, okay, I say, all right, let's move to the last stage of that experience. And in the last stage, she was herself, but at the same time, a channel with the whole universe. Like first, she had nothing practically within herself. She was like dry inside. Secondly, she was like blossom, like full of energy, like a human being, full of positivity and energy. And in the last stage, she was the circuitry that you mentioned before. We are all creating this circuitry with the planet, and that's where we are all heading to. So in that stage, she was actually that circuit, circulating, connecting the trees. By connecting the trees, they were like a representation of trees, but also humans. So the more humans we touch, the more humans we pass love, the bigger we create ourselves and the circuitry. I don't know. That was a very beautiful experience with her. And I think when we feel a little bit down, sometimes we can do that. Sometimes we can just use that time to, like Susan say, I do the Reiki remotely. I don't need to even take the bus or my bike to go to someone and put my hands on them. Just do it from where you are, and that will make you feel better, and also that person, obviously, and you will enhance your inner circuit. That was beautiful. I found, and I think it's an example that I'm going to share with everyone, because it's simple and it is what it is. It's the way we work.
I would like
It
to
is
add
beautiful.
that when you do simple works for me, because I can use simple visualizations to do pretty much anything, including slow down tectonic plates, for example. In that type of situation, if a tectonic plate is moving too fast, I have a generic way of doing it, in that I just basically say, for example, Pacific tectonic plate, and I superimpose in large letters the word slow over top of it. And I know I can I'm slowing the whole thing down just by that one image. And you can do the same on all the plates. So you can slow down the action of plate movement on the planet. And there are species that do generate faster plates moving faster to create fear, which is creates an energy called loosh within the human populace, which is a fear-based energy, and it is harvested from the energy collective of humans as a food source, and that's why they generate it. But you can just put a damper on that by doing this, just a simple visualization of slowing the plates down. I've done this before, and it's helped before. The fires right now that are raging around the world are a cleansing. I'm not really happy with them, but I've just got to go with them because that's what they're doing. They're cleansing. It's going to be new growth coming up, and I have to treat it as such. I have used my abilities to steer storms off the shore, away from, for example, continental United States. Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. I used my abilities to, and Gaia was present with me at that time, to steer those storms offshore. And this was controlled by, these were being generated by like something called the Cabal. Okay, and they were aiming for category 12 storms, and I stalled for category 9. And I just said, enough's enough. I'm not going to do this. I don't want this to go crazy, because that would have been causing too much damage, too much destruction, too much waste. And anyway, that was seems like a couple of years ago. Anyway, but there were people generating concepts like using an electric fan, for example, to blow the winds offshore. I can remember seeing that as a cartoon. I said, way to go. Helps. Just because you're placing that thought in all the people that are looking at that image. And they're actually pushing that storm offshore.
Are the organization HARP part of the, yes?
Yes, I know HARP, yeah.
And they are also part of the same Kabbalah, or?
I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised neither.
No, anything that's, well, there is weather control for profit in effect on the earth right now. And it's, if you want, like, say you're getting married and you want to have a nice sunny day, well, people will take the energy to create a nice sunny day based on electronics and that sort of thing. But I can't get into the details of it, but I know of it.
Here in UK, they were spraying a lot of chemtrail in a massive scale. And the excuse they were using is to protect us from the UV rays from the sun. And it's just nonsense. It's like, what? We don't even have sun. We don't even have sun here in UK. And you put these bloody chemtrails there to make this place even more miserable. I'm so glad that I'm here because of the energy of the land, because the energy of the land is really amazing in all this area where I live, Stonehenge, Glastonbury, all these places is so beautiful and magic, but it comes from the land. It doesn't come from there. From there, we are like under a cocoon, let's say.
I've been to Stonehenge.
It's beautiful. It's incredible. And there is another place called Glastonbury that is also an ancient, amazing place.
Okay, about Stonehenge, you're just looking at the top of it.
And yes, I know.
And it's massive. it's like massive below. Like you could be looking at a dish antenna and seeing that right below that, there's a massive network of stonework. Don't think it's just.
Can you say that again? I didn't get that.
Okay.
You're only seeing the top of
You're
Stonehenge.
only like it's just like seeing a dish antenna on the roof of a house. Literally.
Yes.
That's how massive Stonehenge is. It's not a simple structure.
No, it's not.
No, it's a massive stone structure underneath there, and there's chambers under there you wouldn't believe.
Mm.
But stone is used to relay a signal like an antenna. Trees are another antenna. Their network of interconnectivity in the root system is also a projection of energy into the stars. That's how massive their network is.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I talked to my trees. I have a palm tree in my backyard, and it was growing so wide. And my husband said we're going to have to cut it down. It's going to go into the fence. We have concrete cinder block fences here, and it's going to go into the fence and it's going to break it down. So, and I said, you can't cut down that palm tree. He said, I'm not going to have a choice. So I went and talked to the palm tree, and I said, you're going to have to grow up, not wide anymore. And that was 2 years ago. This tree has grown tall, not fat. It has stuff.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Don't tell me trees aren't intelligent.
They are.
They are very, very intelligent.
Communicate
Yes.
with each other. And they
I
communicate.
had a love chat with my tree. I said, no, I love you too
Yeah.
much. I don't want you to be cut down. Go tall, no fat, no more wide. And it's just growing tall. Now he's complaining I got to use a ladder to cut the palm fronds. I can't for everything, but yes, you're gonna have to use a ladder.
I had a young oak tree that was kind of starting to lean towards my garage, and I kind of told it, like, if you don't want to be cut down, you got to lean away from my garage, or straighten up. And it has grown straight and tall, and isn't leaning towards my garage anymore,
Yeah.
So yeah.
See?
And I named him Henry, or the name Henry came to me. So I let him live, because I'm like, as long as you don't lean towards the garage, you're okay. So that was like 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
He's a lot taller now.
My eggplant is Constance Abundance. She's 5 years old now. Constance Abundance.
That's the name.
Constance Abundance. It's a beautiful
I
name.
love it.
She keeps feeding me. I love her. I have tomatoes, and I have spaghetti squash now, and cucumbers, and I'm just planting away, and I keep telling them I love them, and they keep growing. It's the desert.
I have a friend from work there. He was giving me exotic fruit from the Philippines, and that guava for one.
Love it.
And what he would do is he went to something called a T&T market and would buy these things and then collect the seeds out of them. And a guava has quite a bit of seeds in it, apparently. And he was planting them and just growing them in his home.
Wow.
He'd get fruit that was that big instead of that big.
Yeah.
And he gave me something that he called a sweet apple. And it looked like it was old and rotten, but that's the way that you want to buy them. I don't think if it's actually a sweet apple, but it's got seeds in it about that big.
Wow.
They're not small. The fruit is absolutely nice. It's sweet, yes, but it's not overpoweringly so.
I want to try that jackfruit, but it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Because I'm vegetarian, and I'm pescatarian. I do eat fish, but jackfruit, they're this big.
wow.
They're like $20-30 for one.
Wow.
Oh.
I was like, okay, no. I don't know what to do with it yet. And it's supposed to taste like meat.
Mm.
But, you know, when you cook it certain way, but I don't know what to do with
Yeah.
it. You have to learn.
I
Anyway,
know.
it's getting late, so why don't we do a closeout here? So
Okay, lovely.
I have to do dinner.
Pork and beans again?
All I had was, huh?
Pork and beans?
No, I'm no, I'm gonna make fish. I'm hungry. I think I had a half a sandwich today. Okay. Ikaw saya tunay ito kahit
Wanda.
wala kayo to say.
Hello, come on, no, 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 no. Mama, no, no,
Thank Robin Williams for showing up. Kind message that we need to laugh more.
That was a good message.
Very good message.
Not worry about Christmas presents
Nope, nope.
and the stress of the holidays.
Right.
Right, it's a good message. He always has a good message, and he likes Don, obviously.
Oh, he liked it when I took him on my forklift. He was driving it.
Whee!
For Davina. So some nice visitors today.
Yeah, hit your
On-
drum there.
On that note,
Light language, and thank you everybody.
Ismael, play your
Thank
drum.
you. Thank you.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.